Morning. Welcome to the Metro East Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Welcome to those attending in person and to those who are watching this service remotely. We are a welcoming religious community, and we are so glad you are here. I am the Reverend D. Evans, and my pronouns are she, they. I have been a member of this congregation since 2007. I was ordained by this congregation and currently serve as the Unitarian Universalist Advocacy Network of Illinois Catalyst. Age in between. If you are new to this country or born in this country, if you are an atheist or believe in a divine being or divine beings, if you are attending in person or online, we welcome you. We welcome diversity and plurality. We are Unitarian Universalists. We begin the service with a prelude by our pianist Joy Heft. Love will be our home. Thank you, Joy. That was lovely. If you're wondering why I'm standing up here, it's because I did something crazy to my leg in my sleep, and it's got a glitch. So it's just easier for me to stand here than go up and down those stairs. So that's why I'm standing in the pulpit for everything. Okay. The flaming chalice is a symbol of Unitarian Universalism. An important ritual in the Unitarian Universalist faith is the lighting of the chalice. Well, there are many interpretations of the lighting of the chalice. When opening a service, it indicates that we have entered into a sacred space. Will Harmon and Edwin please come up and light our chalice for us? If you are watching elsewhere and have a chalice or a candle, please light it now so we can join in saying the unison words projected on our screen. Oh, great job, guys. You can put your little things down. Excellent. Oh, look at that. Even remembered to turn it off. Thank you. Let us join in saying our unison words. We light this chalice. Affection always goes on, always expanding. Chalice, hope of future of our church, our community, our country, and our world. May love uplift us. Our opening words today, or our opening prayer, however you want to look at it, are by Rebecca Savage. Spirit of life, eternal beloved, mystery and grace, receive our prayer. We came before that which is greater than ourselves in gratitude for the fullness of our lives, for the anguish and grief that inform our mission to side with love again and again, for the suffering and disenfranchisement of our people that foment our passion for justice and wholeness, for complex lives, for hard lives, for real, full, and overwhelmed lives. We give thanks for blessings that we have been given, the reassurance of community, the steady warmth of hope, and the unwavering faith that there will be better days. We give thanks and seek your grace. Spirit of love, come alongside with all the holy nudges that we need. So may we live in a way that we celebrate all the blessings that we have been given. So may be the blessings in the world. Now, let us move from one type of prayer to another. I want to ask you to take a moment and greet and welcome someone you know and someone you don't know. Let us welcome one another, even if we have to get up from our pews. Now, as we center ourselves back together, please remember to make a new connection with someone you get to know after the service in coffee hour in the room you came in through. Please rise or remain seated if you are unable to rise, and join us in our first hymn, Love is the Doctrine. Our words are projected on the screen, and will you play it through once? Joy will play it through once. It's the doctrine of this church, and love is its great design. For love to God and neighbor us, its alliance is divine. Love is the doctrine of this church, and by its beacon light, we reach beyond our slender selves and stretch our narrow sight. Love is the doctrine of this church, for only love can be the cord that binds our different souls in unity. Doctrine of this church, only love can be the cord that binds our different souls in wholesome unity. It is the tradition at Metro East UU congregation to place each service within our larger values that we as Unitarian Universalists hold dear. We hold up the value of transformation. The value says we adopt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect. The other value we uphold today is generosity. We cultivate the spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, our presence, and our resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. Later in my message, I will elaborate how these values relate to the current situation of our congregation. For our reading today, I chose This Ain't No Country Club. It's excerpted from Nathan Walker, Exercising Preaching, Crafting Intellectually Honest Worship. Okay. There is no time to be spinning around ourselves saying, we're so small, we're a minority religion, as if minority is somehow equivalent to inferior. No, the problem is when we diminish our institutional self-worth by trying to be a country club religion. Who else here is tired of being internally focused and preoccupied with matters that are inherently irrelevant? Where's my coffee? And why are those curtains crooked? And can you believe he wore that? Do you know what she said? That she said that she said that she did what he said he would do but didn't do. Where's my Splenda? Preoccupations with idle chatter are kind of a self-poisoning. We should excommunicate your petty banter. It's time that we became part of a progressive, visionary path that liberates future generations from the theological labyrinth of despair. It is time we have the courage to transform from a social club into a collective force for justice, because we ain't no country club. We ain't no intellectual secret society, and we ain't no navel-gazing hum-diddly-dum cult. We are an internally diverse community. We are a group of people who seek to lead meaningful lives, to love one another without prejudice, and to build a just and sustainable world. Let us interject this mission into our DNA and once and for all get out of the committees and into the streets. That, by the way, is off the UUA website, Words for Worship. As part of our weekly worship service, we take time for a ritual. It's the ritual of joys, concerns, and sorrows. Home for us means a place where we can share the things that weigh down our souls or that fill us up with joy, and where love surrounds us in good times and in turmoil. If you would like to recognize a sorrow or a milestone, you can come forward and place a stone to represent your joys and sorrows. The stones are here. The bowl you're going to place them in is there with water in it. Most of you are familiar with this. So I invite these two sections to go down that aisle, go around the back, and come that way, and this section to come to that aisle and go this way. So thank you. Please come up and put your stones in the bowl. for our congregation and one for the world. Now it's a time for all ages. Since we are not walking our children out and they have activities to do in the pews, I'm going to ask that they remain in the pews. A time for all ages today is a story about Nancy and how she discovered the difference between a house and a home. Nancy was so excited. Her family was moving to a new apartment. They had been waiting for years for approval for the apartment. She would have her own room and no longer have to share a bedroom with her older brother. When her parents took them to see what the apartments looked like, Nancy was surprised to see grass in the front of the apartments and in the back of the apartments. People had grills and some were cooking outside, and the kids were running around. This was nothing like the apartments they lived in now. But Nancy was worried. She would have to change schools and meet new kids. She would meet her friends. She was going to start in a summer program in a science class because she loved science. The school looked so nice, but would the kids like her? The first week of school was rough. She knew no one. The second week, they were starting lab sessions. To her surprise, Jessie picked her as her lab partner. They worked well together. Then Jessie invited Nancy to her house to work on an extra credit project for the class. Jessie told her, "I'll have my mom call your mom so she knows it's all okay." They exchanged phone numbers and addresses. All around the apartments were houses, and Nancy had drove past Jessie's house. It was Nancy's dad actually had drove past Jessie's house. It was only 2 blocks from her apartment. It was arranged that Nancy would go to Jessie's house to work on their extra credit project. When they met the next day in school, Jessie said to Nancy, "You know we're nerds." Nancy went home and looked up nerd on the computer. Yes, she was a nerd. She liked science and she loved learning. So she went to Jessie's house and they had a great time working on the project. But Nancy was surprised that only 4 people lived in their house. An old neighborhood house that size would have many people living in it. She was surprised to see a microscope in Jessie's room. Not as good as the one they had in school, but it still worked for their project. When she was ready to leave, Jessie suggested that they meet at Nancy's house the following week. Nancy didn't know what to say. And then Jessie said, "I found your apartment. I can just walk there." Nancy was worried all week about what Jessie would think about her apartment. While it was big to them, it was much smaller than Jessie's house. Well, Jessie came by and they worked on another extra credit project. And Nancy's mom called Jessie so Jessie could join them for dinner. Jessie fit right in with her family. They decided that they would alter going to each other's homes every week. After Jessie left, Nancy said to her dad, "I'm confused. Jessie has a big house and more stuff than I do. But she wants to come here." Jessie's dad said that it was okay that she come here every week. "But Dad, I don't know why her parents said she could when we live in an apartment and they live in a house." Nancy's father said, "Well, I think Jessie's dad and Jessie know the difference between a house and a home. A house is a building. A home is a place that you are wanted, and people want you in their home." Nancy smiled to herself. She was so glad she was in a home and not just a house. Please stand if you are willing and able and join in singing our next hymn, The Spirit of This Church. The words are projected on the screen. Yes, it's love, for it's love, that's the spirit of this church. Not the walls or steeple, but concern for people. Loves the spirit of the church. Not the windows of my church are not stained glass, for it's love, that's the spirit of this church. They are multi-colored dreams that come through for it's love, that's the spirit of this church. For it's love, yes, it's love. For it's love, that's the spirit of this church. Not the walls or steeple, but the germs or people of the spirit. This is the spirit of this church. Churches on their own cardinal, for it's love, that's the spirit of this church. But the search for peace that's our sisterhood, for it's love, that's the spirit of this church. For it's love, yes, it's love. For it's love, that's the spirit of this church. Not the walls or steeple, but the river for people goes to the spirit of this church. I introduce myself as the Reverend D. Evans. I stand here, however, not as our congregation's minister. Eden is our minister. I'm not even standing here today as the UUANI catalyst. I stand here as a congregant, and I want to be very clear about this role as a congregant as I speak. 10 years ago, our minister told me we had it wrong. They said our congregation was more concerned about a building than our mission. And until we understood our mission, we would never grow. Being a very good UU, I was not afraid to speak up to the minister. I told them they were wrong. We had just voted on a new mission statement just before that audacious minister who dared to say we didn't understand our mission arrived. We knew our mission. I could even quote it. Outward reaching, inward seeking, we are creating and nurturing an intentional community that values acceptance, social justice, and the embodiment of UU principles. Let us question together. Now, 10 years later, I realize that minister had it right, and I was wrong. To explain this, let me begin with the tale of two congregations. Both were deeply influenced by COVID. Both lost many members. Both had to regroup after COVID. One is in a historical building, and it has every difficulty of a historical building, as we know from our last building. The front entrance of that church is difficult to navigate with many steps up to it. However, unlike what we did, the congregation kept up their building, and put money in it. So people were directed to the entire back of the church in order to enter the church. Now, there is a big problem with parking at that congregation. Even though they spent money to expand the parking lot, they still have to have people park down the block and walk in all kinds of weather into the back entrance. Now, they're currently working on solving that, but it is far from solved. After COVID, they worked very hard on being more welcoming, on improving their streaming services to attract people, and on firming up their covenant groups and adult education groups. They have grown. The other congregation, before COVID, was collecting funds to add a sanctuary to the church, as they met in a meeting hall and had to set up and pull down every week like we do. Yet they were thriving until COVID. After COVID, they also lost many members. After COVID, they decided that the money they had collected toward a sanctuary needed to be used and expanded to build a new sanctuary, because that was going to rebuild their congregation and bring them members. And they did it. Over 1 million plus. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous sanctuary. Now, around that church is completely flat ground. It is accessible. It has a sidewalk next to the parking lot to go into both the sanctuary and the meeting hall. It has flat ground to park on, and most of it is paved, and it's easy to get into it. Now, everything about accessibility in that building is perfect. But they have not grown the same as the other church, with the building that is far from perfect. And I think the difference between the two congregations is that one understands their mission. The other does not centralize it. One grew despite having anything but a really accessible, easy building to get into. The other did not, despite having an ideal building situation. We here are in a really difficult time. We are lacking funds to buy or build a new building. We are going to have to find a place before October. And it will not be ideal. It's not going to meet my needs, and it may not meet your needs. It may meet the needs of some people, but not others. We have to work with what we can afford. Either that, or some generous donor can find us $1 million to fund $1 million plus to fund a new church. But if we concentrated on our mission, what might happen despite all the difficulties of looking for a building? I want to concentrate on these words: outward reaching, inward seeking. Outward reaching. What if we had greeters each week? I saw the call for greeters each week in either our weekly newsletter or in our major newsletter. What if we had them each week? Dedicated greeters that made sure people felt welcome. And I don't mean just 2 people. I mean several of us could volunteer. I observed dedicated greeters would make sure people felt welcome, but also we would make sure we got their email addresses. I know we have people who greet, but if they are gone, no one seems to greet. I have observed this. on a couple of Sundays that I was here and people were out of town, our two, what I see as our recognized greeters, were out of town or couldn't come. What if we had somebody not in the hallway to block people, but a little bit further back saying, welcome to Metro East. We're so glad you're here. We would like to keep in contact with you because we send out a newsletter. And when Mary does get the emails, she does send out a newsletter to new people. And they would feel welcomed. But that is not enough. What research shows is that new visitors need 3 follow-up contacts. I think one of the differences between the two congregations I spoke about is one does that, the other one does not. Now, I don't like this research because it has been consistent through the years that when a visitor comes, they need 3 contacts. The newsletter counts as one of them when they get that newsletter. So we need 2 more people willing to email. Now, how did I learn this? Did I learn it from the research? I did not. I learned it from a little, and I'm going to call her little because she's shorter than I am. Brenda McCoy was a member of our church. And when I got there, I got on the greeter committee, and Brenda taught me how to be a greeter and how to welcome people. She would go around with her clipboard, and if she didn't catch him at the door, she would catch him in coffee hour. And if she couldn't catch him, she'd hand me a slip and say, go get their names. I can't do 2. And they got the newsletter from Mary. They got an email from Brenda, and a week later, an email from me. Now, I would say, oh, isn't that wonderful? What I didn't know, I was clueless. I didn't know what I was doing. I did it because Brenda told me to do it. Brenda could be insistent. And guess what happened? We grew. I take no credit for that. It wasn't my idea. But that system has proven correct. It has led to members. Therefore, I am going to volunteer to do this. If somebody will send me those emails every week, I will write the first email welcoming them to Metro East. Even if I haven't met them, that isn't the issue. They will get an email from somebody from Metro East. If I happen to meet them, I will say that in the email.
We're having a meeting right after church about that, Brian and Mary and I. We've already planned a meeting, and you're welcome to join us.
Oh, am I raining on your parade?
No.
Oh.
No, you're just adding to the flowers.
So we'll eventually need a 3rd person to send out, because we got the newsletter. I'll send out an email. We need a 3rd person to send out another email. Now, there's another way we can be outward reaching. Before COVID, the congregation that built the sanctuary had a very coordinated social justice program. Each year, that congregation chose a social justice effort that they would support in the community. For example, when it was known that schools in the community gave significantly more expulsions to Black students than white students, members of the congregation would show up in their UU shirts at every school board meeting until that policy was changed. They met with parents of Black students. They also decided that they would be allies for the LGBTQ community. They gave PFLAG a place to meet. They supported the annual Pride Parade in their shirts. They showed up at in their UU shirts at almost all community events. After COVID, all that stopped. They stopped that outward reaching. They didn't grow. Now, I heard at Metro, we will be getting shirts to show that we are UU. I will be bringing a survey next week. It won't solve anything, okay? But I hope by taking that survey, we will find a way to have our congregation partner with at least one social justice community or action in the Metro East. Now, I looked up what the Metro East is considered to be, and I was astounded. It goes from the upper reaches of Madison County, that is Godfrey, all the way down to Belleville, that's through St. Clair County. That's our church's stomping grounds. That's who we're saying we are pulling people from, the Metro East. So somewhere in that entire territory, I'm sure we can find someone to partner with. Now, I'd like to talk about a third way of being outward reaching. When you are in the meeting room, step back and look around. Do we look like we are happy to be here? Or do we look like the burden, carrying all the burdens of trying to find a new home? Do we look like we will overcome this and survive? Do we look like a group you would want to be a part of? Do you see a group that is animated or dour? Now, if you think I'm pointing fingers at you, I was so dismayed and, to be honest, disgusted about how we failed to realize our financial situation for so long before finally beginning to realize and deal with the financial situation that has been a difficult part of this congregation for 20 years. I was so dismayed we had to move from this venue here, and we are diddling around with wanting to buy a building that we could not afford. I am sure I stood in our meeting room looking like anything but the fact that I was glad to be here. In other words, I'm not pointing the finger at you, I'm pointing it at me also. I was part of the problem. Being outward reaching means we have to have something people want to be a part of. I had to change my attitude. I had to have faith in our leaders that they would get us through this. And thank goodness Nathan and Jamie told us like it really is, so we can move forward with our financial reality. So being outward reaching means we have to have a belief in our future. And when we stand in our meeting room, look like we have that belief, so people will be part of us. We have to trust we are a beloved community that will survive. Now, what does inward reaching mean? People join many groups. People join the Women League of Voters, PFLAG, or whatever group they want to join for social justice. But they come to this church because they are looking for a spiritual home. Now, a spiritual home can mean many things. At Elliott Chapel, where I work, where I am a part-time minister, the congregation actually says a welcome to the visitors. And one of the things they say is, if you believe in God all of the time, some of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. We UUs accept a wide range of spiritual paths, but people want ways to develop those paths. When we were a thriving congregation, we had an atheist group, we had a Buddhist group, we had a pagan group, and a group that read Course in Miracles, which is considered a Christian group. Now, Jennifer, our religious education director, did a great thing by having a course introducing UU. But these spiritual groups in our congregation at that time and in other congregations are not led by a minister or an RE director. Rather, they are led by members who have an interest in a group, in a particular spirituality. anyone in the congregation can run such a group after letting the minister and the board know that you want to do it, to make sure it aligns with our mission. You can lead a group, but you can also have a group that has shared leadership. Now, another way of being inward reaching is covenant groups. Covenant groups are groups that have a special interest and you are bonding on that interest. The UU website teaches you how to be a covenant leader. These groups should be small, 8 to 10 people. For instance, we should have a covenant group of parents who want to raise their children in a world that does not share UU values. We can have a covenant group for young adults from 20 to 40, or groups for LGBTQ members. Again, these groups are not run by our already overworked minister and overworked RE director. They are run by leadership to form a community within a community. And research shows that when that happens, people stay. We don't have to have a building to lead adult enrichment or covenant groups. COVID taught us how to use Zoom. And if you say they won't work, I know of at least 3 congregations in the Midwest that such groups are done by Zoom and they work. So after I lost my place, so please be careful. Please be patient with me. I touched the wrong button. So I suggest that we as a congregation, whether we find a place that we love or a place that all of us love or a place that only some of us love, that we trust the committee looking for such a space, that we trust that it is more important that we are a community than the building we are in. So I concentrate on, in fact, concentrating on our mission. Now that brings real transformation. The last thing I want to talk about is generosity. If one of you were to put, let's say, $500 each week in the basket, gosh, that would be wonderful. But you know what? The board can't count that toward our budget because we don't know if you're going to do it every week, 1 week, do it once, do it 3 times, and then never again. What counts in building this community and bringing our mission forward is a pledge. That's how we can express our generosity. I have to speak in my other job to people about pledges, and this is what I tell them. Anything from $1 a week to $50,000 a week is acceptable. But please pledge so we know what we have to count on. That is so important to our leadership and to carrying this congregation forward. Let us prove that we are not all involved in just a building. Let us prove that we are outward reaching and inward seeking. Amen, and so may it be. Please rise as you are willing and able for our last hymn, which is a video typed "Lead with Love." Join in to sing whenever you wish.
There's a lot of call and response.
You know what? Since it's a video, you may remain seated.
No sticks, rock. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. with love. You gotta put one
One
foot
foot in front of the other
and
and
lead
lead
with
with
love.
love.
One
One
foot
foot in front of the other
and
and lead with love.
lift up your eyes.
Lift up your eyes.
Don't you despair.
Don't look to despair.
Look up ahead.
Look up ahead.
Your path is there.
God has been there.
So we gotta put
One foot in front of the other and lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love.
You gotta put
One foot in front of the other and lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love.
I know you're scared.
You know you're scared,
And I'm scared too.
and I'm scared too.
But here I
But here I
am. Right next to you.
am, right next to you.
So we gotta put
One foot in front of the other and lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with
Come on,
love.
up. One
One foot in the
Come
other,
on, come on.
lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love.
Don't give up hope.
Don't give up hope.
You're not alone.
We're not alone.
Don't you give up.
We're not alone.
Keep moving on.
Bow
You gotta put one
foot in front of the other
and
and
lead
lead
with
with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love.
You gotta put
One foot in front of the other and lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love.
and lead and
And
lead
lead with love.
and lead
And lead with love.
and lead
And lead with love.
and lead. Come on. With love. Yes.
I want to thank Joy and our audiovisual team and our two young men for helping make this service possible. Excuse me. Now, an important part of our service is collecting the money, our value of generosity. This congregation is a very theologically diverse religious community with membership open to all in accordance to our principles, mission, and vision. So, to support this congregation that is entirely self-governed by a democratic process, we ask that you contribute. And Allison is going to,
Actually, no, we have two helpers here.
oh, we got two helpers. And our two gentlemen that went ahead and lit our chalice are going to collect their money. Now, you can also give your financial gift to Metro East, and you can see our postbox number on our screen. And you can also use Giveify. So any way you want to give, please give, because I know you are a generous people. Okay. Gentlemen, can you please give your collection to Allison? Thank you. What great helpers. Please join me in our offering prayer. May this offering equip us to inspire love and seek justice. Our announcements. Next week is Sarah Johnson. You can see who are coming the following week. And you can see next week, we have to break down the common area only.
No, we have to break down all days.
Next one. Today is all.
Yeah, today's it's a top.
Oh, today, yes, we have to break down all, but next week, on the 12th, the common area. Okay.
D, I have an announcement.
You want to come up?
No, I can.
Okay.
I have been doing the visitor table for 2 years now. And I would like a committee, a team of 2 or 3 people to take over setting up the visitor table every week or taking it down, whatever is needed. The materials are all there. I will continue providing the needed materials in the plastic box, but I just don't want to get here as early as I've been getting here, since I live a 35-minute drive away, to manage to put that table together. And it takes 5 minutes to get the materials out there, and about the same so maybe a team of 3 people alternating weeks, and I will be glad to, as I say, put all the information in the box that's needed. But I'd like somebody else to actually staff the table, or several somebodies. Thank you.
Mary, while you're up there,
Yeah.
some of us who got your, Mary's been dating a tenant for a long time. She put together this chart. She shared with us, and I'm sure you'll share with everybody later. But the thing that surprises us most is the number of people on Zoom and things like that.
Yeah.
Can you share any of that information now, or am I too early?
Well, I sent it to the board. The board got it, and you guys got it because, you know, you help taking attendance. I can put whatever the board wants me to put in the newsletter.
Yeah, I mean, it just was so surprising.
Yeah, that we have, well, I don't have my sheet with me, but we have at least 20 or more people a week who follow us on Zoom.
YouTube, but yes. YouTube.
YouTube, whatever it is.
So
It's streaming.
not all of those people watch live. They may watch sometime throughout the rest of the week.
Yeah, it could be, you know, so I don't take count of that until like 2 weeks after the particular service, because people spread out, you know. One service had over 100 people watching over the period of time. So anyway, I can put some of that information in the newsletter because I know the newsletter editor. Thank you.
Okay, Anna D's Women's Alliance lunch is Thursday at Sugo's, and the men's lunch is at a place to be determined.
It's also at Sugo's.
Oh, you're going to Sugo's too. It's been changed. Not the information is wrong. Okay. Are there any other announcements? We are hosting a Summer of New Song on the second Friday of every month this summer. So you can see storytelling in 8:14, a church service at New Song. Guess so. Okay. Yes.
Just repeat this so it's recorded. I encourage people to go to the Facebook page about the storytelling service, because I kind of got gobsmacked by that. My service was supposed to be on the 14th of August, and we don't have much time, and I'm opening it to the community. So please spread the word. You can go get the flyer off Facebook, our Facebook page, and just send it to all your friends locally. And hopefully we'll get a nice little crowd there for our spoken word storytelling service that has kind of a theme that I think is interesting to several people.
Are those church services going to take the
This
place?
is not a church service. This is actually a storytelling.
It's an extra event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Friday evening.
It's at 6 p.m. and it is yeah. If you want. It is not a church service. It's an event.
So it's on the 10th and then again on the 14th.
No, just the 10th. The 14th is a church service. The 10th is a storytelling event. It won't be like this. It'll just be people's stories of things they can't explain, synchronicities and coincidences that are outside the domain of.
Okay. Great. And I will be carless on that day. So, do you have an announcement? No, you're a little too small to. Well, maybe you can make it. Here.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What's your announcement?
Our announcement is that we're trying to make a club at my house, right? I don't even know where your house is. Get out. We
Yeah, don't say where you're. Maybe you can make a club here on Sunday. So
yeah, we're doing that, and also we were thinking. And that's our whole thing.
okay, thank you, boys. Maybe we can get more kids their age to do a club here. All right, let us end our service.
You got a couple more now.
Oh, I got more announcements. Choir practice will resume on July 19th. So you can see that. And we got a fundraiser
August 2nd.
that is supporting. Is that our fundraiser or is that a support? No, it's our fundraiser. Oh, that I saw in our newsletter, or I saw it someplace online. So please come and join us. I'll have my car back by then, so I can come to that one. So great. Okay, closing words. I ask the Spirit of love, let us seek to understand what outward reaching, inward seeking means. No matter where we are housed, let us understand that Metro East is a home, not a house, not a building, but a congregation that welcomes all and builds a loving community. May we be so generous that we support our home by money and by time. May we be so generous that we use the power of love beyond our church home to bring equity and justice to the world. May we be Unitarian Universalist. Please join me in extinguishing our chalice by using the words of Maggie Lovins.
Extinguish this flame, but not its meaning and mission in our hearts. Our time together has come to an end, but in peace be of service to one another, and may you move through the world of love for all your days.
Now, if there are no more announcements, we're going to sing our final.
I am going to say one more announcement.
Oh, you got an announcement?
Yeah. Since this storytelling event coming up on Friday is kind of rushed, I am still gathering stories. I have a full program, but I have room for more. So if you have a story you'd like to share of something you just can't quite explain, some interesting thing that happened in your family. I'm looking for things like you're walking down the street and you look up and a baby falls out of a balcony, something that happens that's very synchronistic, that you would be comfortable sharing with a group of people that will appreciate your words. Please see me, and people online too, please see me, because we still have room for a few more stories.
Anything else? Can we sing? Can we sing? Can we sing?
Did you like to?
Okay. You may blessed is the path you take. May love guide you your way. Come from finding truth. May your struggle cease. May the fire within your heart alone in peace. May hearts are tempered till they meet the vision of our sacred amen. Go to coffee hour.